Hello everyone, so I'm Marc, aka Marco.
And I'm Bethel, aka Bella, and together we're MARCOBELLA.
So today we're going to be talking about, should I pop the question?
Yeah, so it's Valentine's week, and we know that sometimes people want to pop the question on Valentine's Day. It's like a thing. Girls might be expecting it, and guys might be feeling the pressure of the girl expecting it. Guys might be thinking maybe this is a perfect opportunity to do it. I know sometimes it might be a bit cliche. You don't have to do it on Valentine's Day, but some people are thinking about it. And for those people who are thinking about it, this video is for you.
And some people's friends might be going, do it, do it, do it, do it.
And I guess this video is probably for the people who haven't made up their mind yet. So those who are still thinking, should I not? Yeah, it's a big momentous decision in your life. So Mark, what led you to pop the question? You didn't do it on Valentine's Day, by the way, but
No.
But what got you to that place where you were like, yeah, I'm gonna ask this girl to marry me?
It was very simple. For me, it was just a case of, I'd got to the place where I realised actually, I cannot live without this girl. And obviously because we're Christian, so in our faith, we believe that in order to live together, you'd have to be married.
Yes, so we didn't live together before we got married. We also believe in no sex before marriage. So you can imagine when you're madly, passionately in love with somebody, that's pretty difficult. So actually minimal physical contact, holding hands maybe, and a hug at the most is acceptable in our faith. I know different Christian belief different things, but that was for us, it was quite intense actually to be courting for it was nearly a year.
Yeah.
It was hard.
So that's why, as I said, it was very simple. It was a case of actually I can't live without this girl.
It wasn't just because of the physical stuff, I hope.
No, I wasn't even referring to the physical. I was just talking about actually just from a fulfillment point of view, of actually in terms of what's going to make me happy long term. It was about actually I want to spend more time with Beth. I want to get to know her, and really enjoy life with her. And so when it got to that place where I felt all the boxes had been ticked. I mean, those boxes, there's so many different boxes.
What boxes were they?
I think one of them was obviously, Beth was abroad, and so, there came a period where she then moved back, and we were able to actually start dating properly.
Yeah, so when I was in America, right, he was like, we're going to get married this year. I was like, yeah, whatever, you haven't even popped the question. It's like, no, I feel it. And this is like July time, and mind you, in England, like summer is between June and September. Really.
Yeah,
that's like a
small window, very small window.
Best summer months. If you're lucky, April and May are quite good, but your summer is that period. And I was like, at what point?
It didn't seem like it.
Because firstly, you need to talk to my dad and get your permission. Secondly, you need to actually propose to me, and then we need to plan the wedding. So at what point are we going to get married? So I was like, okay.
I think it became much clearer when I had made the switch in my mind that actually I do want to get married. Because before that, I think I was just kind of going along with the flow, just kind of enjoying the dating period. But then there came a switch. I was like, actually, I'm ready to cross over into that next place.
I recall, so without getting too spiritual, right?
Spiritual.
Without getting too spiritual.
Ta-da!
I recall, so that we will make another video about how we went through some difficulties with my dad, who at the time didn't really approve of our marriage because I'm biracial, so I'm mixed race, and Marc is full black. And Full black. But my dad didn't approve of my choice at the time. Now he loves him to death, but at the time he didn't approve, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But I remember being in America and going to this church service, and I was like, the pastor just called me up, and he was like, I see somebody has given you flowers that cover up. And I was like, flowers that were covered up? And I had to really think about it. And I was like, that's really interesting. And Marc had given me flowers. It was cute, it was wrapped up, but they were covered. And I was like, oh, Marc has given me flowers that were covered up. And he's like, and I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And he was like, well, that means that person isn't ready to actually openly commit or express his love to you and commit to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, because we thought that it was my dad who was blocking us from getting married, and weren't taking much steps forward because we have to wait for dad to give us his blessing. And at the time he was being really difficult about it. Even just us being in a relationship was a problem. So when I said that to Marc, I was like, well, this interesting thing happened. This is what this pastor said. What do you make of it? And kind of just left him with that. And I think that's probably when you did your reflecting about, like, were you ready to actually take the step?
Yeah, and it comes back to the point I made earlier about fundamentally, it's always down to you whether or not you're ready to take that step. But there could be so many different qualifiers, and the most important thing is actually to sit down, do some reflection, and think, what is the hurdle of me actually crossing over and going to that next place where actually I can commit to this? And after I did some reflection, I realised that actually there was no barriers for me. It wasn't even her dad. It was just a case where I hadn't actually made the switch to I want to get married.
I'll be a husband now.
Yeah, ready to be a husband,
Ready
to
for the
kind of ready to
responsibilities.
commit to responsibilities. And so, when I had that switch in my mind, from there it was literally like full speed ahead.
I know, like literally, I got back.
And we got married in 3 weeks after
No,
she got
I
back.
know.
or
Well,
something
no,
like
I
that.
got back from America. When I got back from America, I think you proposed to me like not very shortly after that. We got engaged on like the 25th of July, and I was super romantic. And then
For those that haven't seen that, we talk about that in
in the other video that we talked about, what's the most romantic thing that your husband has ever done, or your partner's ever done. So. So after we got engaged, he was like, yeah, let's get married. And we wanted to get married like really quickly anyway, because I was going back to uni to finish my final year, and it was like, no, we need to be together, we need to live together, this is too much, like all this distance stuff.
and
we got married within 3 weeks. 3 weeks of popping the question. But guys, we're talking about popping the question, we're not talking about getting married yet. If you're ready to take the next step, by all means, if you feel like this person is the one. And for me, knowing that Marc was the one was just knowing that I couldn't live without him, as he said. I loved every bit of him, not just when he looked good. When he looked bad too. I always say, like, you need to love the crust of a person. Like, you need to love the bad bits too, because when you get into the marriage, that is when you really find out who that person is. And then you're like, oh my gosh.
So you're saying they should be ready for the crust of the other
You
person.
need to be ready for that crust.
That's how you make the switch.
That's how you need to make the switch. Like, am I going to be happy when her hair isn't fixed? Am I going to be happy when she's just like looking a right mess? Because some days when I wake up, I look a mess.
But I think again, it probably boils down to what you're looking for in the marriage, in a relationship. And for me, it was, very simple qualifiers. Life partner. Just somebody I can commit to, somebody who loves me, who's able to, again, reciprocate that love. And I found that in Bethel. And so that's what I wanted to commit to. So it was much easier after I made the switch to just, nothing then could stand in the way.
And very shortly after that, my dad said yes to me. He just gave us his blessing, and it was like pretty quick, and it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. This mountain that we thought was this issue, like, quickly moved out the way because he'd made a decision.
So if you're asking yourself, should I pop the question you really want to ask yourself is, am I ready to commit? Am I ready for the responsibilities that come with the commitment?
Yes.
And that's where you should start from. And beyond that, then it'll be much easier.
And we're not talking about like just popping the question to make someone happy, because that can turn out awfully. You need to be really ready to commit to that person.
Okay. I was just thinking about what you said. They can turn up awfully.
Yeah, I mean, some people just pop the question because they feel the pressure to pop the question. And it's not because they actually have considered like what this really means, like the actual living with this person, being with this person, hopefully for the rest of your life. That's it really. That's what you need to consider when you're popping the question. So if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe, and if you want to see more content, hit the notification button so you get notified when we post new content, and tell us if you did pop the question, because you might be watching this after Valentine's Day, and let us know how that went.